Okay. Lime, mango, June plum. Anybody? Come and get it. Come and get it. Lime, miss. June plum, miss. Yes, ma'am. I have some mango. Come check it out. Come check it out. Yeah, man. It look good, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Nice and fresh. Nice. Me pick it off of the tree myself. Nice and fresh, man. Nice and fresh. Yes, man. Yes, man. Ha ha. Yes. I love mangoes. I love mangoes. I love June plum. Tambourine. Those three could always be in season for me all the time. Guinea, woo, child, Guinea, and it's this time of the year Guinea come out to again. Guinea, yes, indeed. Those are some of the things I enjoy as food and stuff, and the spices and the treats that you can get. Yes, man. Another thing I used to enjoy a lot is the soup. I love managed water. If you saw that video with me talking about the field trip, you should check it out. I mentioned managed water, chicken foot, soup. Um, it's just amazing, and I always enjoy seeing, like, especially when you go in the marketplace and you see them selling it, and the pot coming together and the flavor, especially if they cook it on coal. Lord have mercy. Cold food cooking is just a different kind of a situation. The flavor, I just don't understand the science behind it, but the flavor that gets infused in the food is just awesome. It's amazing. It's amazing. Awesome. When we think about the Jamaican cuisine, there is just so much you can talk about. There's um so much to it, especially when you start thinking about the different love and care that you can put in the food, and the spices and the herbs and the different things that is just uniquely Jamaica. And even when you leave the island, it's just really hard to capture that. And so I've eaten Jamaican food away from home, and you just tell yourself it is what it is. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't get it right at all. It is sacrilegious. I'm telling you, but it is what it is. So whenever I go home, I make sure I capitalize on every moment. One of my favorite snacks, though, point blank period, was patties. The patties. I used to love patty and cocoa bread. Lord have mercy. Tambourine balls, gizzada, jackass corn, the paradise plum, all of those niceness. All of those niceness. I'm telling you, bulla with cheese, bulla with the pear, bulla by itself. And trust me, there's a brand that used to make the bulla, man. I'm telling you, you'd have to make sure you have your mouth nicely moist because it would be so dry. I can't remember which brand it was, but I love it. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. This is according to MzShellz. My name is MzShellz, and today we're going to take a journey. We're coming along with me, and I'm going to just literally take you on a trip as it relates to all things Jamaica, all things my country, and I hope you will enjoy this episode as I celebrate with my country 59 years. 1962, August 6th, the Union Jack was lowered and the black, green, and gold was raised for the first time. And growing up, we used to see those documentaries a lot around this time, and it would still always give me chills. I put myself back in that moment, just seeing those people's faces dancing in the national stadium, and I'm like, wow, it must have been something, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you grew up under one kind of situation and then transitioning literally overnight under a different one. And so it was always good just to see that particular documentary. So speaking of celebration, speaking of celebrated 59 years, when you think about our music, the rich history of our music is everywhere, and regardless of the type that the person like, you will hear it. So one corner you can be hearing religious music, one next corner you can be hearing reggae, another corner dancehall. It was just everywhere. And trust me, it is a part of our fiber. Sunday morning, you hear somebody play some nice old time gospel, or sometimes some nice reggae, sometimes some nice it depends on the vibes, but it was always nice and cool. But as the day progressed, in the evening, you get some lovers rock, or you can get some. It just depends on the person. But we had our music traveling over the years. Over the years, from the ska, the rock steady, the reggae, dancehall. Am I forgetting something? I think no, I'm not. Hmm, yeah, and it traveled over the years, right? And we had different marquee persons that influence our music in such a way that our music live on still. It's really just really phenomenal. And of course, you find that as the different artists travel overseas, different persons pick up the vibe and try to carry on what is pretty much originally Jamaican. And so without we can't even talk about Jamaica and not mention music. And so that's what I was getting at. And when we think a person like Sly and Robbie, the dynamic duo of percussions and the guitar, and their engineering skill, and their style of projecting our music in that format. When you think about people like what's his name again? Grub Cooper, and when you think about a Fab Five and a Unique Vision Band, and I don't even want to start calling names of groups. Different genres, different styles, all of them putting their talent into what we know as Jamaican music, and it just really does. It just takes it to a whole new level, whole new level, whole new level. You can't talk about music and don't mention Bob Marley. um, for me, he is like one of my favorites outside of every other musician I like. I mean, honestly, I would say to somebody else that I felt because okay, I think when he died, I was like a baby, so like maybe when I became into consciousness of everything, he was already dead. You understand? So I never met him. And I always felt like, based on it's again back to those documentaries that they used to show us as children and on the TV and stuff, or different clippings of his life. And then when I was an adult, I went and did a tour. I did a video also on him. So you need to check that out. The Bob Marley and My Mental Health. I'm telling you. So when going to his home, which is now a museum on Hope Road, and with his studio downstairs, the Tough Gun Museum, and so on and so forth. Doing the tour, you just felt like you were like walking into history, walking into his space, and it really does help me to even understand even more. And I always felt like I missed out on something because I wasn't around when he was alive and doing his thing. But guess what? As they always say, his music lives on, his legacy lives on, and it was just truly phenomenal. I mean, in his own right, his words, his music is that of a prophet, because even though some of his songs, not his songs still speak volume, his songs still speak life, and speak to situations that he's not even here to see, but it's the same thing because nothing is really new under the sun anyway. So it just continues to just speak life. I'm just saying speak. And Bob Marley's music has taken me through so much little things. You never know it, but one of my favorite ones. I have many, so but always my go through. This is my go to one. Don't worry about a thing. Don't you worry, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh, don't worry about a thing. Don't you worry, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rose up this morning, I smiled at the rising sun. Three little birds came at my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. So don't worry about a thing. Don't you worry, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Hey, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry. Yeah, it's always. There was just so many. I mean, after a while, when I would just start breaking out into different ones. Sometimes before they even see me at work, that's all they hear me singing Bob Marley, and they'll be like, "Okay, Sister Marley." Oh my goodness! Yes. So I had to take a little time out to just talk about Bob Marley. Thinking about greats, we have so many greats in different genres, and recently we lost another great, Valier Johnson. Rest in peace, sir. You have brought so much laughter to my soul, and if anybody knows me, I love a good laugh. He was just one of those people that I remember the first time. I mean, be again being conscious of every, and he was Muffy. He was Muffy, and then there was Titus. So it used to be him and Titus together in a series, and then sometimes he would integrate into like plays like Lime Tree Lane or stuff with Oliver, but he would always be Muffy. And that trademark belly. Sometimes when you stand up and embrace it, so you wonder if it's really him bracing himself like that, or that's how, and then that the fact that even in his latter days, and as I, was following him and stuff, he turned from being not only the comedian and actor, but a coach and mentor, grooming the younger ones coming up behind him. So I really felt that was like, he was like a real loss, and those rest in peace. Shout out to the family, condolences. Thank you for sharing him with us. And rest in peace, Valia. Rest in peace. If we're talking about resting in peace, I was preparing for this other person that came to mind, and I try not to do the name calling too much, because sometimes you just forget somebody. But as I was reflecting on this episode, this is why these names came up. Okay, the other person that came up was Tootsie Bird. He passed on last year. Another phenomenal man in music. I was talking about music a while ago. In the early days of reggae music. Oh my goodness, I felt like I wanted to cry. Sorry. In the early days of reggae music, and his impact to the music, and even when he had to go to prison, and the songs that he wrote, and even coming out, and all of his influence to music and his influence to our culture over the years, it was just phenomenal. Unique voice. Again, thank you to the family for sharing him with us and his talent. When I heard he passed, I was like, wow. I mean, I haven't seen him in a long while in terms of seeing him, but I mean, I've listened to his music. I remember last year, Independence, I pulled up something on Spotify, and his music was like 3 different ones of his songs on it, and one of them I didn't even know. I was so excited. I was like, ooh, I was cheering. You think I was in a party or something? But I was just elated. First of all, that they could, whoever put it together, because Spotify, yes, I think it's more like an Western world kind of a thing. So you find that they found music for our island and unique ones. I'm excited. So as I said, one of them I didn't even know. I was like, what? And so I was excited. I really was. I enjoyed that. I kept replaying that selection. It was like a group of Jamaican songs they put together. I don't even remember how they did it or what was the title right now. And I remember just really feeling elated. And some other names that was on it, that's like, what? So yeah, as I said, I love music. I really love music. I love our culture. I love our music. I love um to laugh, as I said before. And one of the things about it is that we had a lot of comedy around us. Even those who didn't even make it to main stage. Just take a walk. Just take a walk into the marketplace. Take a walk along the street. You're gonna see something that just makes you funny. I mean, it makes you laugh. And even when you think about some of those guys who would be selling in the marketplace and stuff, and how they put the little ad lingo. Sometimes you hear them, you're like, you know what? These people who do marketing and these ad agents need to come talk to you guys. That's how they put it together, and this the nuances and the lingos, and it just really makes you want to buy. It just makes you want to buy. So there was always comedy, there was always humor around us. And I mean, shout out to all those greats, even to this very day, like still continue to ensure that laughter is still in the mix, laughter is still in the mix. Um, the IT and the Fancy Cats, the Blacker Ellis, the Johnny, the Oliver Samuels, all of you guys, the different ladies, some of the names. As I said, I didn't want to start calling names, but even the very ladies, over the years I did comedy and stuff, the Audrey and all the different ones. Thank you. You have made me laugh so many times, and I appreciate that. I really did. All right. When we think about the drama scene, the scenes of comedy and music and theater, we can't leave out pantomime. We can't leave out the fact that in the early days, Miss Lou and Ronnie Williams, they were the guys that helped to push the culture forward in terms of theater, in terms of drama, music, singing, um, dancing, making sure. I remember watching a video. It's an old video, and I mean, Miss Lou literally stopped the whole crowd because somebody in the group was singing the song in perfect English. She's like, okay, when I come to your country, you tell me to do it this way. I'm telling you now how to sing our song. And you're doing it. Who's doing that? I don't remember the name of the song right now, but she was correcting the whole crowd and everybody was bursting out laughing. And for years, she was a voice that helped to propel the culture, teach the culture. I remember this thing on Saturday. It used to name what? Ring Ding or Ring Ding, something like that. On a Saturday, we used to come on. We'd watch her and little children, and then they had Ashe, and they had different groups that they would come on and sing and continue the whole culture and grooming of people for preparing them for, just passing on the culture of music and comedy. But pantomime was just something that was a phenomenal thing where they combine theater. It's almost like Broadway, for those of you who know Broadway, but we call it pantomime. And so it's pretty much theater with dance and singing and bringing up the culture in different ways. So there were times when they had culture with the Anansi story coming out, or with themes around school, or different things, things about our culture, and the what's the word now? The artwork behind it, the guys who do the costume, the guys who did the props. It was no pia. It was just bar excellence to the excellent. And I'm saying, as a family, we used to make it a point of duty for a long while. For as long as I can remember, especially when I was much smaller, we used to go a lot. And in schools, then we used to start doing the school trips. We would go as a school, or we would go together as a family. But it was always a pleasure just to go to pantomime, and especially when it was at the Ward Theatre. That theatre was just so grand, that stand downtown. I know they had a thing to sort of keep it going, rehabilitate it and fix it up. I know it's been an old structure and stuff, but yeah. Then they moved it to the Little Theatre. and but it's still the style, the quality was still the same. It's just a smaller facility. Um, but yeah, that was one of my favorite stuff to do. The pantomime. Yep. The pantomime, and of course, you cannot talk about theater and drama and don't remember the fact that we used to have a lot of stories about Anansi this, Anansi that, Anansi stories, and Anansi. So anybody watching would wondering if you're wondering what Anansi is. Anansi basically was a spider, a mischievous character in our Jamaican folklore that would always be doing stuff to tell somebody to do something out of the norm to appease his desire. And if the person end up falling into trouble, he would laugh after them or lead them in such a way that when they're in trouble, he's out of the way, looking innocent, while they're the ones looking guilty and in trouble. So basically, tried quite a trickster. Mr. Anansi, he was quite a trickster. Quite a trickster. All right, moving on. So, when we think about what's going on now, right? We talk about the fact that it's time for sports, it's Olympics and everything. Yes, it's the sports. We are in the Olympics going on nice, and I'm telling you, it's been a blast. It's really been a blast just watching the men and the women just collecting the gold or the bronze, the silvers. And just again, as I said, I had posted a video talking about the Olympic edition. So check it out. Check it out. I think by this taping of this, they're in the relays now. By the time I'm taping this video, they're in the relays, and it was really, really excellent. A shout out to Mr. Parchment. That 110 win was just beautiful, pretty, awesome. Awesome. I had to really just take some time out to just talk about the Olympics one more time. But I'm going down the sports road, but not necessarily Olympics. Not necessarily Olympics. All right, going down the sports road, not necessarily Olympics. But I remember when we had cricket. I used to go to Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy is right next door, almost to Sabina Park. It's across the street. And when I was in first form, I had like front seats up front and center. So the school is right across the street from Sabina Park, and my classroom was literally facing the wall that was facing Sabina Park. And of course, you're hearing them talking about 6 and 4 and all the different things they're talking about at the cheers, and you're trying hard to listen to school, what the teachers say, because you want to know what's going on over there in Sabina Park, especially back in the day with Courtney Walsh and all those big names that used to be in for the Jamaican team, right? And of course, as the time went by, and the team just got sorry, and then oh my God! But I still like the sport. It take too long. I think they don't have the 2020. But then I used to always enjoy just listening to them in high school. I mean, that's one of if I was talking about memories of high school, that has to definitely be it. When cricket used to be around, and Savannah Park was, and then talk about the traffic. Listen to me. You don't even talk about trying to get a bus right there going home. You have to literally walk some distance because basically the roads were closed off a little bit because once it's traffic and once it's big competition in Savannah Park, it's not really regular flow of traffic at all. But it was just a massive, huge structure. But when the sound would come up, it just swells and fill the whole campus. You cannot hear anything else. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that experience. I've never been inside, but I've been close enough so I could hear enough to know it was really a blast, And so cricket was one of those sports. We had football. I remember one of the times, I think it was maybe like our first time going to Um, our first time going to World Cup back in the day, and I actually saw the game recently, and I saw that like a couple of the players from back then. I think one player, his son is on the team now. I'm like, wow. Full circle, full circle. But when we went to France, I believe, and it was just pandemonium in the street. We were just excited, and we got a national holiday out of it. I wrote a poem as a result of it. I don't even know where I put that poem. I felt so, what you call it now, inspired by their journey and everything. I took pen to paper and I started writing my how I felt about them winning and being able to go to France, and it was just awesome. And then I got another opportunity to watch them live in Philadelphia. When they played Mexico, I still treasure that memory to this day. It was just an awesome experience, and the fact of the matter is they didn't expect Jamaica to reach it. So when we got there, a couple of people who had already bought their tickets were from, I think, the US team or some other team, and so they're sitting amongst all of us decked out in our gold and green and everything, and then just like they miserable and discomfort. But hey, it's my team. We're there to celebrate. So that was my first real international game. Seeing my team on display was just really awesome experience. Even though I had so much little things going on, and as it is with a football, with the fans are totally what you call it, no, I think football fans are different. I mean, I saw some stuff that the opposing team people were doing. I'm like, wow, that's talk about fans at the bold letters, caps, quotation marks, everything. It was just really an experience to behold. An experience it was, indeed. Yeah. So football. Then we talk about I was talking about track and field earlier when I mentioned when I talked about that video, the Olympic edition. I was talking about the fact that it seemed as if it was just understanding that, hey, we are a country of great athletes, regardless of the sport, regardless of the thing. And one of the things I always enjoyed doing or watching was the different track meets, and even the little kids. As I said it to you, the little kids going right up to adulthood, just seeing them execute the different technique, which whatever it was that they were, whatever event, whatever race, it was just always such a blessing, a pleasure to see, and it's something that is really something that I treasure there. The fact that we are able to do what we do in sports, regardless of which sport we play, and we take it to the next level all the time. All right, to the world, to the world. Yep, moving on. Yes. All right, so something else about Jamaica that maybe you may not have known, or you never knew, or maybe you knew. So let's look at some of the emblems. So the first one is the national bird. The national bird is the hummingbird. The national flower is the lignum vitae. The national tree is the blue maho. The national fruit or food is the ackee. And I think I have all of them. I think I did. I think I did. And if I left out something, put it in the comments. Okay? Don't be shy to help a sister out. Don't be shy. All right.